hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's podcast. Leon back here again. Sorry for the late release on my podcast. Recently, I just been very busy with studying, and now I'm working nights trying to keep up. Trying to keep up with payments. So, anyways, the topic, which this week it's I would say from last week to this week, Google's all in on AI. And, that is correct, folks, because when we've been hearing a lot of the tech space, I mean, first of all, we've been hearing Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, you name it, going pretty much on AI. And that's just been the buzz term lately, where if you want to use Google, then you're going to have to then just go ahead and use our AI search. And nobody, I would say, for the majority of people, and I'm speaking as someone that loves technology, and I'm not denying the existence of AI for any reason, because I do think that AI can be useful in certain aspects, but not for everything. Like I've said before too, and Google is pretty much putting the whole AI basket in one, which in theory, it may have sound a good idea at first, but I don't think it's going to be as a bright idea as we all felt in the past. Which, for me, not something I would like to would have liked Google to see their search engine going all on AI. Which this is where I want to go about this story. That's been talked about since last week, and then coming over on this late as of this week, and what I think about Google going on AI. Now, for what I've been going through with the past couple of days and few weeks, even a few weeks ago, and I have to say that I wanted to check out the conference from day one, but however, I haven't had too much time having to go over with Google, and with the whole Google news with AI. And then after I come to find out with a lot of the people that have mentioned about Google's plan on embedding AI on search. First of all, I don't think they should have embedded it. Where I think if Google wants to experiment it via their Gemini, and like I say, like Gemini, there's people that still use Google Gemini, right? I don't want that to be hard embedded through the search engine, right? And I don't want Google to suggest me search engine searches that I don't care for. So that's probably why I didn't care for that all that much. Now, if you want to use Gemini, there's that tool right there too. I mean, if you've already released a tool like that, how about just open up a tab onto your browser and just go ahead and use Google Gemini. I don't think it's that difficult right there. And very honestly, though, Gemini, you can get actually some decent things coming from Gemini. And I have to say, though, I have no problem with certain aspects of it too. Now, is there a whole lot of people using Gemini for it? I would say plenty of people too, in comparison with other AI prompters like ChatGPT. Well, I've never put any money on subscriptions, which are very honestly though, I think if you are putting money on subscriptions, let's put it this way: you're just wasting your money on a big corporation, on whoever you're putting, whether it's OpenAI or Google or Bing's AI, whatever Microsoft does. Oh, excuse me, take that back. Copilot, and whatever there is out there too. Because right now, it seems that the AI companies, especially Google, they're trying their best to stay relevant in this whole AI game, where it's for them in their mind, it's like, we gotta go AI or else we're gonna go bust. And who knows, because that's where I've been seeing lately, and a lot of people on the net and a lot of people have had the same mindset like I have, where AI shouldn't always be everywhere, right? We should just look up our content and look up what's actually accurate from, from professionals, people that actually know what they're talking about. So that's one. I do think that people have a logical argument behind all this too. And because of Google have such a monopoly. I mean, I should say they have quite of a monopoly right there, because not everybody is quite happy with Google, and so am I as well, because I do think with things going the way they are, I'm actually quite happy that a lot of people are looking to alternatives. And for instance, giving you the alternatives from Google AI. And so for certain solutions, with everything that's been happening, I do have the alternatives that I wanted to share to you, because as of late, and going by a few of the articles that people have even said about what they want to use, and actually, with everything that has been happening lately, and Google, what I would say with the last 20 years, Google was the dominance in search, and everyone used it, whether it was grandma, your sister, your uncle, or whoever you knew. Everyone used Google. And nowadays, with tech companies like Google turning their backs against people, and I guess for good reason, they a lot of people are switching out of Google and going for another search engine too. Like, and also, for instance, I wanted to read a little bit right here what I'm just checking out right now on USA Today, which there's been talks about a lot of users online that have gone through search engines like DuckDuckGo or Escocia offered AI overviews. Both allow users to turn them off in the engine's settings. DuckDuckGo also allows users to turn off the ability to see AI generate images. Startpage, another search engine, which, by the way, guys, I doubt it's the one search engine I do use, and I do recommend as an alternative. From main ones like Google, which I have to say, Start Engine is decent actually. I have to give Start Engine too. Even though it's not perfect, but I do think that we're going to see a shift where people are just going to go into their browser settings and keep whatever is the better alternative. And it looks like so many people are just saying DuckDuckGo. And to me, I will say that I do have a counter argument with DuckDuckGo. Even so, and now I want to read over to you. First is the how to switch engines. So here on the USA Today, which continues on, perhaps the most optimal. There we go. That's the word I'm trying to say. So there we go. The most optimal way to use search engine, however, is by downloading it to your browser, whether through a desktop or smartphone, just like you'd download Google Chrome or Firefox. Though they may sound counterintuitive, users can also change their default browser in Google Chrome. To change default browser on Google Chrome, click on three dots on the top right corner, then Settings on the left-hand side of the Settings menu. Click Search Engine, select Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, or Yandex as a default. Now, guys, I will say that the USA Today does give out a solid way to, guide you on switching your main search engine through the browser. You don't have to type on your URL or the locator on the top of your browser, google.com, because I know when you type your what you call it, your search engines or whatever you're looking for, you can just get rid of Google as your default search engine on your browser. Now, I will say that with Chrome, however, while it doesn't tell you specifically about Google, and just my thing with Google is that it doesn't surprise me that Google will end up collecting so much of your data via Chrome, which let's just be real, because Google Chrome is just another spyware browser, which if you are using Google Chrome, look, just use something else. I don't care. Firefox, Waterfox, Brave, Vivaldi, or whichever you're using. There are so many browsers, or I should say, yeah, browsers that you can just download and just use that too, because those are better browsers. Now, as far as search engine alternatives, continue on right there. So, for any of you guys that are using smartphones, here's the way you can go about it too. So, iPhone users who uses browsers like Safari can go onto Safari and onto the Settings app, click Search Engine, and choose between Google, Yahoo, Bing, Baldi, DuckDuckGo, Sugo, 360 Search, and Scotia. So, and they tell you right there on how to do it too. So, and it is good, because the more I see with Google's dominance right there, I do think that the more of that is dwindling a little bit too. Google, however, isn't going to go away. And that's one thing I have to say with Google is it won't go away overnight, because there's still going to be people, the average normie that have no idea about computers will still continue to use Google as their default. And, sad to see, but that's the way it is. And that's how I'm just going about it. Because Google is still pretty powerful, that you're not going to have Google collapse over the next year, because that's how powerful it is. And you still got people using Google smartphones, or the operating system. The Android operating system is very popular today, and that's the most used operating system, which is run by the Linux. Now, I mean, of course, when September rolls around, which September coming up this year, Android will no longer be open source. And that's one thing I'm just seeing right now is I'm glad there's a lot of people that are looking away with Google, because Google, if you were someone that was making money online, like through, let's say, Google Shopping or through a blog, because I remember years ago I started out as a blogger myself, and that's cool, and I love the idea too of becoming a good blogger, and I would love to do more blogging at some point. Right there in this decade or this day and age of blogging, you cannot make money through blogging right now on a simple search. And I'm sure there's ways that you can make money, because I know if you want to become a profitable blogger or become a good blogger, you do have to write good articles. And going through AdSense isn't the way to go right now, today's age. Probably if you are a pretty established person that have done this for so long, this would not be an issue for you guys. And I just don't think a lot of the small creators that are starting out, I would not recommend AdSense today, because of where Google's direction is going, and you're not going to get enough search attention, because all these searches that you want to find out or discover through Google search, that's not going to happen as well, because of how Google de-ranks you. They will just drop you like a hot potato, because there is no way, even today, if you see or try to find somebody out there, it's just impossible right now. It isn't. I don't think Google is going to let you, even as a search engine, will have your blog or your, or whatever ranked up higher. It's just not going to be it for today. It was one of those things that worked out, for the good 30 years of Google's lifespan, but now I just don't see it anymore too. And I mean, right now, DuckDuckGo is a big deal, and DuckDuckGo have been crawling up in numbers, which, good on DuckDuckGo as an independent company away from the big boys. Now, here's my big problem with DuckDuckGo. Why I actually don't like part of their system, and why I do think you know it's not good, because the way they have DuckDuckGo implemented. And DuckDuckGo has its own problems when it comes to the search engine and the indexes. And a lot of people don't know this. When you are searching through DuckDuckGo, first of all, they don't have their own engine, their own primary search indexes. And that's where I see the count. It's very counterintuitive. It's not DuckDuckGo isn't bad, while it does use the Bing's indexes. And also, if y'all are thinking about going through Yahoo or switching over to Yahoo, it's thinking that it'll be better. Not really, because Yahoo is using Bing indexes from Microsoft. So what am I saying right there? Is it completely independent? No, actually, DuckDuckGo it has a partnership with Microsoft using Bing agent indexes, or user indexes, I should say, because right there it doesn't. Sure, people will say that it is away from Google, sure, but it is not going away from from the likes of Microsoft too. Because of that, I used to be a big promoter, thinking that DuckDuckGo was actually private and they have their own engine. And to think about it, I don't think DuckDuckGo solves a big, the biggest issue. I hate to say this. I mean, some people may be upset with me listening to this too. I just don't think it is the way to solve this as well. If you at that you're independent, then why are you partnering with the big boys? Couldn't you just build your own index crawlers and just build it up? Sure, things will take time to build your index crawlers or your crawlers, but that's where I see this right there, and see other articles and people calling out DuckDuckGo as it is. Even I'm reading through the Droid Guide, which states here, DuckDuckGo bot DuckDuckGo's own crawler. DuckDuckGo runs its own crawler user agent called the DuckDuckBot. It does not build a full general web index. It would cost billions of dollars a year to compete with Microsoft and Google at that scale. But it does crawl to keep instant answers fresh, spot checking Bing's results, and support DuckDuckGo specific features like the exclamation Bing shortcut system. You can verify DuckDuckBot hits in your server logs by reverse DNS checking the source IP. Legitimate DuckDuckBot traffic resolves to DuckDuckGo.com. And so that's what I mean as well, because DuckDuckGo seems to want to play a similar playbook of what the big boys are doing. And now I will agree that this is a different company, but however, partnering up with a bigger company such as Microsoft, using the Microsoft's primary web indexes. So that kind of tells me where right there is like, hey, if you knew you want people to switch over, I get it, but this is not the solution when it comes to running a search engine and being completely away from the big boys. That's where that loses me right there. And DuckDuckGo has been my primary search engine for a couple years till I made the switch over to Startpage. And Startpage, I would say it is very decent. So one thing I want to give out right there is Startpage does work well, and I've used it, I would say, every other day. And it does, I would say, it does a good job, but it's not perfect. I would say the one search engine, which I know there's some people that talked about this one. It's a French search engine called Qwant. Now, if you want to know what Qwant is, well, it's like, it's similar to Google and similar to things, but it's completely independent right there from the American companies, and the which here I like how it says the search engine that values you as a user, not as a product. So that's best. That's the best way I heard anyone wrote this down on anything right there. Google right there a couple years ago, their slogan was "Do not be evil," but they are evil right now. So it just tells you a lot about Google's, you know, practice, which they don't do anything to serve users at all. It is it is very much bad for when Google's slogan once said "Do not be evil," but then they go around becoming evil. So that's really bad because the telltale signs with Google, and I've remember making the switch away from Google. I'd say the first time I started switching was 2012, 2013. At that time, where I decided I'm just gonna get out of Google because Google's, I don't know, they already have a monopoly on the searches. Why would I ever want to put more into into Google at all? It really doesn't make a lot of sense at all. It's like that's where I say if you want to start using something else, go out and use something else. Absolutely, guys, do so. And Quant, and let me go ahead and give you more details about Quant. Quant isn't something that I would say it's perfect at all because Quant isn't the perfect solution. Now, give it about a whole year or two till it improves, and it will over time because the story with Quant, if I'm not mistaken, Quant it is now being used for the government officials in France and everywhere else in Europe. And the reason behind this is that they want digital independence away from American companies, and a lot of the government sees Quant as the solution behind it. Right there, that would tell you, in my honest opinion, with Quant, it still needs a lot of work. Like I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't have a lot of the queries. I mean, sure, it'll give you decent things like let's say if you want to look up tech news, right? Like I go on to quant.com and I'll just click onto tech news, and it'll give me one of the first the first things they'll pull up is pcmag.com or Reuters.com, which is their tech session on their website on that outlet right there. So first thing I do is click on pcmag.com, and then it will tell me, it'll show me results on what's been posted the last few hours, so on and so on right there. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to go over with you guys about just Quant, Scotia, and Scotia is good. It still needs a lot of work on Scotia start page. I know I'm missing a lot of search engines, but again, there's a lot of search engines to talk in one sitting because I'm not going to have time to go over every single, search provider because every search provider does things a bit differently, and not all search engines are perfect too. While I would say Google is like the established search engine of the entire internet, who knows how long that will be, because I don't think that they're going to go down overnight or within the next year. What a lot of people speculate too, because there's still people that still use search engines like Google, despite of people disliking AI. And that's just me saying it as it is. Just going to leave it at that right there. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut this podcast short because due to the timing of things today, and I don't have time to go over and discussing a lot more than I want to. But the search discussion I wanted to talk about is because I'm one that don't care about AI searches, because if I want to look up something, we all have to use our brains and look up things that we want to do. So, but anyways, guys, let me know your take. If you're listening to me on YouTube, leave your comments on YouTube, or if you're listening to me on Odyssey.com, put your comments down below, and I'll be talking more with you guys real soon again. Have a good one. Bye for now.